Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of K-Pop Cosmos. I am your host Freyja, and joining me once again is my co-host Mark. What's up, Mark? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Freyja? I am doing good today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So, I completely, I don't know why we didn't do this person earlier. Like, why we didn't talk about him earlier. So today we are going to be talking about the myth, the legends, the man who's in all of your JYP videos, whether you know it or not, and in their audio. It is, of course, the one, the only JYP. All right, so JYP, the man, the myth, the legend, creepy grandpa to some of you. I know that you call him that. So JYP, or as his actual name is Park Jin-young. So, he, as everyone knows, he's the creator of JYP Entertainment. He is a South Korean singer-songwriter, recording producer, actor, record executive, reality television show judge. Mm-hmm. He does a lot. He debuted in 1994 as a soloist with the album Blue City. So, but before he was a soloist, let me show you his little picture of him, I believe. If it will show. No, of course not, because nothing goes the way I want it to. So JYP actually debuted in a group. Oddly enough, he debuted in, let's get rid of this puppy. See, nothing ever goes the way I want it to when I try to run things. See that? This one. Let's see if this will work. And add. All right, so this puppy. Yeah, the plastic pants, man.
Forgot about those.
The plastic pants. So this is like the only like young JYP picture I could find from the 90s. But he did debut in a 3-man group. There he is, right there in the middle. So, and that group was called. Oh, I have it all pulled up. Where was he? Park Jin-young and the New Generation is what he debuted in.
That is a very I'm debuting and this is my band, the next generation. But it's still him.
Me and my band. It reminds me of that that Eminem. What was it? Eminem and that little fake band that he created with a bunch of other hip hop rappers. What was it called? And there was a song called My Band. It's like, I'm the lead singer of my band. It's a great song. And like everyone else is like, boy, you better shut the fuck up. It's great. It's a great song. Find it. I can't remember what it's called. But it wasn't Eminem. It was like Eminem and like 50 Cent and stuff. So it was great. So anyway, yeah, he was originally part of a trio, with Kim Sul-chul as the producer. He was a rock singer when he debuted, but anyway, their first album, Floating Time, it bombed. So the band broke up, and then he debuted in 1994 as a soloist. For people who are curious, that album is fully on YouTube. You just have to look up Park Jin-young and the New Generation in Korean, and it's on YouTube. So if you want to listen to it, it's there. You can listen to it. I can see why it bombed because I did listen to it. So I understood why it bombed, unfortunately. So I'm going to go back to No, I don't. Well, I won't make you guys stare at that because I had to see it, so all of you had to see it. Okay. We'll stick with this picture of JYP. So, JYP was born in 1971. So I don't even know how old that would make him. Maybe 60s, 50s,
That would
50s.
make him 52 years old.
Yeah.
And the reason I know that is because you're at the same age.
Oh, okay.
I always see JYP like doing stuff, you know, like his I mean, we'll get to it eventually, but whenever he does like videos now,
Mm-hmm.
I look at him and I'm like, Jesus, I can't believe we're like close to being the exact same. I don't feel like I could do any of that.
Yeah, I mean, the man still like full on does concert tours and stuff still. It's just crazy. And he has an official fan name. He doesn't have any fan colors, so you know, but he debuted in the 90s. Didn't do all that until Big Bang came around.
Right.
And his fandom names, they have two names. Is the Asian Soul and Soulmate.
Oh God.
Like, yeah, that's very JYP. Oh, for everyone who wants his little socials. There you go.
There you go.
There's his socials. In 1997, he became the founder and CEO of JYP Entertainment. And it's one of the most profitable entertainment agencies in South Korea. It's one of the big three. In 2011, Jung Wook took over as CEO for JYP while he still continues he's still like the owner / founder position. So he's still like kind of in charge, but not really. It kind of gives him more freedom to do what he wants and doesn't have to worry too much about the groups.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So
he's developed a really cool system in the later years of having teams that are specifically assigned to said group. You know, like Twice has the same kind of group of managers, and GOT7 had the same group of managers, and then he just kind of oversees like the emperor.
He's like the guy you go to when there's a big problem, but everyone else is like supposed to take care of everything else.
Right, exactly.
It's like, don't come to me unless the building's on fire type of person, you know?
Yeah, but his voice still goes. If he shows up and he's like, the color of that outfit is wrong, it has to be fixed immediately.
Exactly.
He's still that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think I mentioned this before, but I was watching, I don't remember what it was. It was one of the GOT7 members, and he wanted to like release his own album, but you have to get the okay by the company for your songs. They have to okay it. And so he was going in to get one of the songs that he wrote and, you know, listened to and okayed. And he walks in the room. He's like, oh, shit, it's JYP himself. He's like, this man will listen to 3 seconds of a song and tell you no. Like, exactly. And that's exactly what he did. He listened to the song for like 3 seconds, like, no. And then I was like, I kind of agree with JYP because what he said was, you're putting the instrumentals in first and then creating the melody. He's like, you don't do it that way. You create the melody first and then you put the little bells and whistles in. And I was like, I agree, because there's some songs where like you can tell the melody was just like an afterthought. Yeah. So, and that's what he was like, you have to focus on the melody first and then add everything. Then add the instrumentals in. You know, I was like, I agree with JYP, but he was tough. He really scared that GOT7 man. Like, he looked stressed out. He's like, why is he here? But yeah, JYP, he does carry this, like, and if you watch him on variety shows and he's there with like one of his JYP groups, like, he followed GOT7 around for a bit, but like, you can tell that they're really like, gotta look good for the boss, man. You know. But he has that emperor feel about him. It's very interesting. Also, the man's face has not changed like at all through time.
Seriously, I was looking at interviews of him from like the early 2000s, and then looked at videos of him, you know, from like a couple of years ago. He looks exactly the same. Like, the guy hasn't changed at all.
Yeah, there's a live performance of him in like the 90s. I'm like, this is so 90s, it hurts. I was like, this man has like not like aged. I mean, you can tell he's aged, but his face, like, it felt like they like photoshopped his face to make him look younger, but it was insane. He had such a unique face that you just know. It's like Rain. When you see Rain's face, you know it's Rain.
Yeah.
Like immediately. JYP just looks like JYP.
Definitely.
No matter, so anyway, moving on. So he had created and managed highly successful groups like Rain, Wonder Girls, GOT7, and Twice. And he helped produce GOD, which helped him with the JYP Entertainment growth and whatnot. We talked about that with the GOD episode.
Yep.
This man is iconic. He has an older sister. He has been married twice. He got married in, I believe, 1999. And then they divorced 10 years later in 2009. And then 2013, he got married. And now he has a daughter, I believe, or two daughters. And he made a video for his daughter. It was super sweet. And in the video, I think he also shared that his father had Alzheimer's and couldn't even recognize him anymore. It was very sad but sweet video. I can't remember what the song was. It was super cute. It's kind of like pictures of the birth of his daughter. Let's see. It's called This Small Hand.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's like a documentary style video. And yeah, in the video, it revealed that his father had late stage Alzheimer. And all proceeds from the song went to the Green Umbrella Foundation to help children in need. It was very sweet. So I think, let's see. He could play the piano. In 2004, he went into the U.S. music industry and became the first Asian producer to successfully cross over into the U.S., producing music for Will Smith, Maze, and Cassie. Right. He also, in 1997, he was tasked by EBM, which is now Sidious HQ, with preparing members of an idol group for debut. I remember group was eventually called GOD. Yeah. So he worked with Sidious HQ, which, interesting.
Can I say, I just want to say the song that he produced for Will Smith was called I Wish I Made That.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's basically just a song of Will Smith kind of being jealous that he didn't produce, like he didn't come out with other hit songs. Like no one really taking him seriously as a rapper because he's gone Hollywood.
Yeah.
So he had name dropped, Drop It Like It's Hot. I Wish I'd Made That.
Yeah.
And like other songs. But the funny thing about that song is that, I mean, it's whatever. It's JYP's production on the song. I'll give it a thumbs up. But the funny thing about the song is Will Smith is like, no one takes me seriously. Maybe I just have to go and beat up someone live on TV in order for anyone to take me seriously. And I'm like, wow, what a prophecy.
But it kind of worked in the opposite direction. Now he's just a joke because he slapped Chris.
Exactly. Like, that's not what you want to do, Will Smith. But no. At least he thought about it and put it in a song, which I thought was really funny.
It was great. Yeah, I recommend checking those out. JYP has done a lot. He also, in 2008, collaborated with Jackie Chan to form the I Love Asia project, which was created due to an earthquake tragedy that happened in China around the time. It was a huge disaster. It's sad. Like, let's see. Let's see. And all of the funds went to the Sichuan in the Sichuan province. Had a lot of Korean stars in it, and it had figure skater Kim Yuna. So my family loves Yuna Kim. We would watch figure skating just for her.
Wow.
We loved her. So she was part of it as well. So he was also the first Korean songwriter to reach the Billboard Hot 100 with the Wonder Girls song Nobody. Yeah, and I said that song, I heard it on the radio, actually. I was super excited. Like, oh my gosh, I know this song. It's K-pop, but in English. Let's see. Let's see. While he was in college, he released his first 2 albums. Let's see. So in 2015, he participated in an Infinite Challenge, Yeondong Expressway Music Festival. He formed a duo called Dancing Genome with the comedian Yul Jae-suk and released I'm So Sexy. The song is actually quite funny.
Really? I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it's yeah. So I think it's on Spotify, and I was listening to it. So he also did a song with IU, Jessie, Sunmi. Like, this man is the king of collabs. Like, yes. And honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest. Mass majority of JYP's songs, I don't like. It's not because of the music. For some reason, when I hear his voice singing alone, like whatever, I just my brain just goes, I don't really like his voice. It's really weird because he is uber talented and whatnot, but my like solo stuff, a lot of his songs, I think maybe it's just like his old stuff. My brain goes, nah, I don't like this. I don't like his voice. I don't know. I don't like how it meshes with the audio, like the melody or anything. But then I listen to things like the more modern stuff and the stuff that he does collabs. I'm like, oh, I love this song. But I was like, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what it is.
You know, I'm going to 100% agree with you. I listened to like some of his older albums because I've only known JYP as the producer, you know, as the guy that whispers JYP on like on everyone else's record. So I went back and listened to like his older albums, and I'm like the music is okay. It's definitely a product of his times, right? So it's definitely 90s music, but his voice, like he can sing, but I don't think he has like the best singing voice. And there is something about it that's like you're hitting the notes, but it's not pleasant sounding for some reason.
Yeah, it's just like some funk songs that he does. I'm like,
you know what it is? He sounds like a karaoke singer.
Yeah.
Who's like, you know, he's good enough to sing karaoke, but not good enough to be like, wow, what a really good vocalist.
Yeah.
It always kind of strikes me as that this is the guy that's like in charge of like all of these big groups, and he's barely tolerable as a singer.
Yeah, it's really, really weird. And sorry about you JYP fans who are kind of, you know, but like, yeah, like there was one particular song, and once again, I don't know the name of it because I throw them on like Spotify repeat playlists, and I just listen to all their music that they have on Spotify. And there's one particular song where it's like kind of a swing 1950s 40s ish vibe to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if it's because I was raised on like freaking the Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra and those singers, but like his voice doesn't match it. I'm like, don't do like a crooner song if you don't have the crooner voice, like Michael Bublé. I'm sorry. And so I was like, his voice does not fit some of the songs that the music's great, but the vocals don't match. It's like they conflict. And I'm sorry, JYP fans. I'm not saying he's not talented, because he is. His newer stuff is fantastic. When he collabs with people, he for some reason his voice just changes, and I'm like, this is a great voice. But when he's singing solo, I'm like, I don't know why. Because it's the same voice. It's just like this weird conflicting thing that's going on. I'm like, what is going on? But yeah, he like kills it when he does, you know, collab stuff. And even his new stuff, when he's like a meme, like what Psy does. He just does ridiculous things now, and people love it, and I love it. And I'm just like, why is it so different when he's doing these newer songs as opposed to his older stuff? Is it because he finally like found his like niche music that like vibes with his voice so well? Or is it because I'm just so distracted by the ridiculousness of the music video that I'm just like, I freaking love this?
Yeah, I think he very wisely finds music that's more suited towards his voice.
Mhm,
And if you find someone to collab with whose voice is really good, that
mhm.
really does suit it, like if their voice is 100% matches with the music, then if his voice is like, 60, 65%, it's not as noticeable. But if
Yeah,
it's just him, then 100% you're going to notice, oh yeah, that's that is not matching at all. So I
yeah,
definitely think he's found his way of doing the collaborations and making it kind of making himself appear better during the collaborations.
yeah. He just knows how to blend voices,
Yep.
and that's why his groups are so good. Like he knows like who matches who. You don't have like the conflicting. And something else about JYP that um is not I he is such a good dancer. Like his choreography for stuff is like so good. I love watching his dance practices and performance videos. Like the performance video of where is it? He's in that like awful white suit thing. And they have like the okay, so he's wearing a pink suit and they have like these white socks that almost go up to their knees. It's the You're the One music video. Did you ever watch that?
No, I
Like
haven't seen that one.
it's the You're the One music video. They have a performance video. I prefer that one. They're just in this like he's in this awful pink suit with white shoes and white socks that almost come up to his knees. Everyone else is like in these like light, not light blue, like blue, dark blue suits that match his, but he's pink. And like the dance of that is like so simplistic, but like if you watch the footwork and stuff, it's like it's mesmerizing. I love his like choreography. It and that's what JYP like the industry JYP is kind of known for. That they're really known for like their dances and performances. That's what JYP is known. Everyone's known for something. SM's known for the vocals. YG is known for like hip hop,
Right.
pumping up the crowd groups, and then JYP is really well known for like their performance stuff, and it's just so good. I love it. I love watching his dances. Like he even has a dance practice of When We Disco with Sunmi. That
Right.
one's great too. He also did a song featuring Conan O'Brien and Stephen Yoon, and that came out 7 years ago. So that was before the second K-pop wave. That I was like, so he was doing stuff, man. Like like this dude
Well,
knows what he's doing.
yeah, he's always trying to, and that's one of the things that I don't know if he gets enough credit for, but he
Mhm.
was always trying to push K-pop into a more global area
Mhm.
before the internet was a thing and before like YouTube was a thing. Like he was really trying to market K-pop out to the whole world, or at least mainly to at least to America,
Yeah.
because that's a territory that's like until recently has been impossible to kind of crack.
Yeah.
So his drive to try to get K-pop into America and worldwide, he was really the leading uh, shepherd of that. So I
Yeah.
don't know if he gets enough credit for doing that, because he gets a lot of the blame for trying to pretty much destroy the Wonder Girls, because he spent so much time trying to get them into America that Girls' Generation just took over and became the new girl group. So
Yeah.
he gets a lot of blame for that, but I think I don't think he gets enough credit for being the guy that's really trying to put K-pop pretty much where it is right now.
Yeah. It's he really like what's that? The term. I don't want to say it because it may come off as like rude, but you can't what was it? Can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Right.
Without like progressing, you're gonna mess up, but in order to progress, you need to take risks. You need to push through, because if you don't do anything, you're not going to progress and nothing will change and you won't get better. And so, unfortunately, yes, Wonder Girls was one of those cracked and broken eggs that happened. But they played on the radio in
Right.
my little podunk hole in the wall town that I grew up in. I was super excited because I don't live in big cities. I hate big cities. I live in small podunky out no one wants to be there towns because I love that because I'm an introvert. But I was so excited. I was like, yeah, I know Wonder Girls is on the radio, and they charted like what 76 on Hot 100 on Billboard, and if he hadn't pushed them, they would have been nothing. And then if he hadn't pushed, then Girls' Generation and all these other groups, like they wouldn't have freaking 2NE1 CL wouldn't have been touring with Black Eyed Peas. She wouldn't have taken over Fergie's position for a little bit. And she wouldn't have gotten to know Beyonce and hang out with Beyonce and freaking her husband, and it's become the most influential Asian woman in the world. Like, if he had, you gotta give credit to where these little steps, like JYP cracked the door open, everyone like shoved their way through, you know, and they opened the door so that groups like BTS and stuff could like really come in. And also that's thanks to social media and YouTube, you know, and everything becoming more globally, everything being more accessible. Because like I've said multiple times, when I was into K-pop, I was watching it illegally. Just gonna say that, because there were no sites where I could just watch Korean television or anything, and I was watching Japanese television, and then I started watching Korean shows. And then at the end of the show, they'd have like a music video, and then I'd have to try to find the music video. And then, you know, they weren't in good quality, and I had no way to buy their albums because iTunes wasn't a thing. I had to go to anime conventions and hope they had them. And that's how I got my Big Bang and my 2NE1 CD. And they had Girls' Generation and Wonder Girls there. And like, it was a pain in the butt. You don't know how hard it was before, for us K-pop fans, before social media came out, for like third generation. And so like JYP is definitely one of those people that you got to give props to, because there was no YouTube. No one had YouTube accounts. No one did that. And he still got his group to play on the radio. Like,
right.
You have any? Yeah. So.
He was definitely seeding K-pop fans in America, so that once those doors started to open and more people got into K-pop, they were able to really search out stuff, you know, kind of like you find stuff and really make it more available to everyone else. So yeah. Him definitely trying to globalize K-pop. He definitely had a big hand in where we are right now.
Exactly. And it did help that he actually lived in the US for a bit. So he understood, I guess, the culture a bit more. And it's just like SM, Lee Suman. He came over to the US for a bit to understand the culture. The problem with, at least American, from what I've seen, American audiences are very, what's the word? Not fickle. We get bored easily of stuff. Like, we can like you one day and then despise you the next. Like, you know, we don't like care what company your group is from. We don't care, you know, because I don't know what label freaking Taylor Swift is part of. I don't know who like who runs freaking, I don't know who runs Rihanna or Lizzo or whoever. I don't know who their albums are. I don't know who their like label mates are. I don't know any of that. I just know the artist. I'm like, yeah, I know that person. Right. I've heard one of their songs, but no one cares what company they're from. But over there, you kind of do, you know. Right. And so we could like a song, and then we could just like, that's why we have so many one-hit wonders. We're like, oh, we like the song. Oh, this group came out with another song. So we're like, whatever, next thing. But I think that's also because we're such a big country. We have such, like, we're spoiled.
Yeah, well, it's definitely, you know, it's kind of progressed. The record label, the music industry has kind of progressed a lot from when it first started. And JYP, his main influence was the Motown era. Yeah. So if you travel back in time and you look at, you know, the Motown record label, you'll know exactly that there's Diana Ross and you know, Jackson 5 and all these other ones that are all under the same label. So he just kind of patterned his group after that, or patterned his record label after that.
Yeah. But like I said, you know, the US is a fickle place. But because sometimes we have groups that come up with music like 10 years. There's a 10-year span, you know. But yeah, JYP. I totally understand. So I am going to talk about something that I don't usually talk about, but this is actually something that went to court, and there was, like I said, with Momoland, I don't care about things unless there's actually court stuff, and the whole Sungri thing, that was just too much to even talk about, so I didn't even, you know. But JYP, he got in a little bit. JYP and IU got in a little bit of trouble. So in 2012, let me just pull up the whole thing. They got their song was said to have been plagiarized. So, but okay, so let's see. Let's see. Lawsuit Someday, sung by IU, composed by JYP, plagiarized Kim's To My Man. Kim alleged that the beginnings of the two songs, including the jazz chords, are almost identical, and sued Park for 110 million won. And of course, JYP said, no, that's bull crap. It went to court. And the Seoul District Court ruled that Someday was plagiarized from Kim's song, and JYP had to pay 21.67 million won in damages to Kim. JYP appealed it, but in 2013, they went against JYP and ordered him to pay an additional 56.93 million won to Kim. But in 2015, the Supreme Court overturned the previous rulings in light of new evidence, aka they got new people in and they were listening to it. Nah, that's bullcrap. And they said no, it wasn't plagiarized. And because what it was essentially what a lot of things do. They do sampling. They do, because you can't, a lot of songs sound similar, but it's called sampling. Like, I don't know how many songs, like Right Round, and there's another song that has the song I'm Blue, and Eminem did a song that had like bits of a Michael Jackson song in it. And copyright, when I was in school, we went over this whole copyright thing. Copyright is so, like, it's so broad. There's so many loopholes. There's so much. It's really just based on however ruling feels. Like, it's just like, yeah, sure. Or, no, it depends on the person. It's just down to whoever the judge is, or it's just so vague. And that's what, like, because it, like, you can take it, but if the what was it? If the mood or the emotion isn't the same, then it's not copyright. And it was like, and that's why there's so many games are like so similar. It's just, it's vague. So that was just this whole thing that happened with JYP that people talk about. And yes, eventually he was found that it wasn't copyrighted and they just threw it out. So, but that crap happens. And that's the only time we'll talk about it, is if it actually goes to court and actually goes through stuff. So, yeah, it's just, that's, I also want to talk about how plagiarism is so, like, ambiguous. It's just, like,
reading that reminded me of the Ed Sheeran case that just finished a little while ago, where he was being sued by the family of Marvin Gaye, and how the chords were similar, but they weren't the same. But they were similar. So, but he won that case. So reading that, I'm like, oh, I feel like this has happened before. I feel
it
like
happens all the time. Yeah, it happens all the time, because, like, I've listened to, there was a radio show where they meshed together, like, modern, like, popular songs, and, like, they all sound the same, and they just meshed them together, and I'm like, yep, because they blend in so well with each other. And I just kind of, I was like, yeah, song, with so much music out there, it's bound to happen. It's just, it is. And so this stuff happens. But yeah, JYP, I freaking, his music, man. So to his music videos and stuff, I was watching, what was it? Was it who's your mama? Yeah, who's your mama? And I always just laugh because maybe it's because I'm in the US, but they're like, every time, I'm sorry, girls, everyone's built different. I get it, you know, body types, whatever. But whenever they do that, I'm like, that girl's got no ass. Like, I know you are a beautiful woman and whatnot, but like, as an American, and I see some thick ladies walking with curves, and I'm like, maybe it's the hip hop videos too, but you ain't got nothing there. You're beautiful, but don't. It's just don't.
In,
And then,
in context of the song, just in case, it's mainly about JYP asking this girl where she got her butt from, and she got it from her mama, basically. And he's like, "Well, who's your
from
mama?"
my mama.
So it's a play on that. So basically, it's a video of a lot of butts,
Yeah.
for the most part.
For the most part, yeah, and I was reading the comments, and someone's like, JYP is that creepy uncle that hits on your friends. And then they're like, and because Jesse's in it, like, and Jesse's your mom that all of your guy friends are in love with. Because it does, like, the whole vibe of the song really changes when Jessie comes in. I'm like, hot damn, there she is.
Yes, exactly. That is one collaboration that is like, oh, thank God, because otherwise, it's just a man being creepy. As women are working out, and I'm like, this is weird. But then Jesse comes on, it's like, all right, now this is a song.
Yeah, because I was like, he goes up and he's like, "What's your waist size?" I would have been like, "All right, I'm off of this thing. I'm walking away."
Exactly.
I go to the gym to work out, not to have some guy come up and talk to me and be like, "I'm sweaty. I'm gross. I'm not wearing makeup. Why are you talking to me?" And especially like, "What's your waist size? What's your hip size?" I'm like, dude, get away. But yeah, I was like, the tone really does shift when Jesse shows up. And that's why I was like, these collabs are the best.
Yeah.
And then he did When We Disco with Sunmi. I didn't even know that was Sunmi. And then I was like, wait, she looks familiar. It's a great. Mm-hmm.
That's another kind of creepy thing. I love JYP. Don't get me wrong. I love JYP. When you are, you're the head of the record label and you have your groups, including Wonder Girls, who he managed for years, and now that Sunmi, he pretty much gave Sunmi her deal to be a solo artist. She left the Wonder Girls. She went to school, she got educated, graduated, comes back to JYP as a solo artist, and makes, and pretty much, he lets her do whatever she wants, and she kind of changes the game and then rejoins Wonder Girl. So we're happy for the whole Sunmi experience. But now, he's still an old man, and I still think of her as Sunmi for the Wonder Girls, and you cast her as the romantic lead. I'm sorry. It's a little creepy.
Yeah, it kind of is. But I think during this, she wasn't even part of JYP.
No, she's officially gone from JYP and officially has taken over the K-pop industry as a solo artist.
Exactly.
But still, when I see them together, I'm like, I can only see like Sunmi from the Wonder Girls.
Yeah, I do like the video because he gets thrown into the trash like 3 times. Yeah. And I was like, this is great. And that's the thing. I'm like, the music video is creepy, and I felt like creepy uncle vibes from it. Sorry, JYP, I very much apologize. But, and then he does this thing, and it's like 10 years later. I was like, okay, but like, it's so 70s, and I love it. And the dance is great, and I love the dance practice of it. The arm movements are just, my dad's like, yeah, that's the 70s. My dad was a teenager then. He's like, yep, that's disco for you. And but yeah, I agree. It's just the age gap is just too much. The one that really creeped me out the most, though, sorry once again, JYP fans, I apologize. It was the one that he did with Gain from Brown Eyed Girls. That, what was it called? Someone Else, I believe. That duet together, because they have that gap in age, and then what the song is talking about is just, I'm like, girl, you can like older men, but for some reason this kind of creeps me out. Because yeah, they're like, oh, I want to meet you again. They both have their own lovers, but they're not happy. And then it's just like, I don't. It creeps me out. She's JYP. I know you married a girl 9 years younger than you, but it creeps me out a bit, man. I don't know what. I don't know, but I was like that video really kind of, because the whole thing was about them as a couple, and I was like, I don't. And there's not really a fun dance to it. It's just like this dramatic whole thing, and I'm like,
yeah.
Nah. I gotta say that my favorite music video is either the Switch to Me duet with Ray,
Oh,
or the what was it? Itaewon Freedom. Did you watch that?
oh no, I didn't see that one.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like 1980s esque. Like they got like the poofy hair and the glasses and the bandanas and the everything going on. It was supposed to be a joke, obviously, because they make like a fire ring out of their arms, and JYP yells, "Rawr," he growls at the camera, and runs to jump through the thing. It's such a great video. I need to here. I gotta show it. Show it. It's so ridiculous. It's like the best thing. Here, I'm gonna figure out how to show that, and then do you have any like videos that you like?
I out of all of the videos that he made, I have to say the duet with Rain, the Switch to Me video is like, that is the epitome of of hilarity and a tribute to the 90s. It has like everything, and it's a really good song and a really cool dance. And the fact that it was a couple of years ago makes me feel like, man, I am just out of shape because JYP is just killing it, and I am, and we're so close to the age. I'm like, God, there's no way I can do any of that. But I will say I'll give JYP credit for one thing. I mean, I'll give him credit for another thing. When the Wonder Girls broke big with the Nobody song, the video was kind of a throwback video where he was like a producer, and the Wonder Girls were like he was the main singer, and the Wonder Girls were the backup singers. Yeah. And the whole video is him getting sick right before the performance and going to the bathroom and sitting on the toilet and
trapped.
Right, trapped in the toilet. There's no toilet paper, and he's just stuck there. So the Wonder Girls have to sing the song for him, and they sing the song and they become famous. And meanwhile, he's stuck in the bathroom. So the fact that he's able to kind of make fun of himself in all of these videos, including like the Twice videos, I give him credit for that. So I guess he may be aware of, he doesn't take himself too seriously. So I guess I'll give him a little bit of leeway on the creepy uncle factor because he's able to have a sense of humor about himself.
Yeah, he really does. He like, he's in everyone's videos.
Yeah,
like, it's literally everyone's videos. He's just absolutely ridiculous, and I love him for that. But like, some people don't like him, and I'm like, I get it. You don't like him. That's fine. But like, I don't know how much of this I can show, but like, he's so ridiculous. And I think that's when I like him the best, is when he's just absolutely bonkers. Like,
when he's not taking himself seriously at all and trying to be
exactly. Like, he went the side direction, and I think that was a great move on his part, was to do that, because like, oh my gosh, it really helped with a lot of his stuff, because everyone likes ridiculous things. It just, it is what it is. And sorry, I'm also trying to work on this, but like, I don't know. People like, that's why freaking Weird Al Yankovic, he was a polka guy back in the day, and then he started doing these parody things, and then he like blew up, and everyone knows who freaking Weird Al Yankovic is, and I don't know. I think it was a great move for him because now he doesn't have to be serious and try to be sexy because it's. I don't know what it is when it's an older, like a guy. Sorry, I don't mean anything by this, but when a guy in his 50s to younger people is trying to be sexy, it just kind of, maybe it's because we expect like older people to be wise and more whatever, or just straight up fun and goofy. When you're trying to be sexy, it kind of feels weird. It feels like creepy uncle. And it's not anything like that. We're not saying he's a creep. It just kind of gives off that weird vibe, when your uncle comes up and goes, hey, you've matured a lot. You're like, okay, why are you telling me this? But yeah, nothing on JYP. It's just, I don't know. Oh, I got the song. Do you want to see the video? Just
yes.
A little clip of it. Okay, here.
배달하는 집배원 물건 파는 판매원 기타 치는 김태원 모두 모여 이태원 배달하는 집배원 물건 파는 판매원 기타 치는 김태원 이태원 freedom.
Amazing.
That's great. And that actually came out in like 2019, so it's not even that old. I saw that like, yep, this is the JYP I actually like. Yes. It's beautiful. It's a thing. But yeah. So JYP, what to say? Like,
well, he's still in, obviously he's, because of JYP Entertainment and him trying to be the forefront of bringing K-pop worldwide, his kind of outside of the box thinking is definitely starting to pay off with Stray Kids, who we talked about before, who
freaking love Stray Kids. Yeah,
they are crushing it right now.
Stray Kids. Sorry. Go ahead.
And Twice just at the LA Forum concert a little while ago, which is crazy. I mean, a K-pop group selling out a stadium isn't news.
No.
Before, but someone from the big three getting to the point where they're able to do that, I think is amazing. And I think JYP is, his pioneering has led us to this point. And he's doing a new TV show now on YouTube that, it looks like he's still trying to push the envelope a little bit further.
Yeah, he's very good at keeping up with trends. I don't know who they got working for them, but they're pretty good at it. And it's just, like you said, Stray Kids are killing it. I'm so happy to finally see them doing really well. Because, like I said, I saw them when June from GOD was in the JYP building and doing his little like walk around in June Way. And he ran into a couple of them, and that was years ago. But they're finally picking up pace, and they're picking up steam and popularity, and I'm so proud of them. And JYP feeds them well. They June went into the cafeterias where he met Stray Kids, and I wouldn't last there because JYP is very into health food.
Yep.
As June called it, rabbit food. I wouldn't last. I'd be like, I need something that's fattening, please. Just please give me. I'm going to the SM building and get their soft serve ice cream that they say is really good. So, it's just they're on their diets. I get it. They have to look a certain way. They're idols, blah, blah, blah. They got it, whatever. But I'm actually glad that they give them meals, like free meals in the cafeteria. And it's set up like an all-you-can-eat buffet. It's not like they go in and they give them it. It's set out like a buffet. So they can go back and get more if they wanted to. So I'm glad, because I'm always so upset because June talked about sharing a cup of noodles between all of the GOD members, and that's all they ate that day. Right. And I'm always happy when I see that they're actually being fed, because someone who's been following this industry as long as I have, you see the dark side of it, and it's just upsetting. And I know that people are like, oh, my idol group's not treated well, blah, blah. I'm like, you should see what the first gen and the second gen had to go through, because yes, third gen and fourth gen, they've gone through some bad things, but like the things that those idols had to go through was like nightmare fuel. Like practicing in a dingy basement, eating cup noodles between 5 other people, or being pimped out, or it's just, or slave contracts. It's just, there's so much. And we'll talk about some groups that fought against the slave contracts, but like, oh my gosh. And JYP, he went through all that crap. He talked about, it was on Knowing Brothers. That show's on Netflix if you want to watch it. I highly suggest that you do. And it has my favorite Super Junior member on it. So he's hilarious. It's a great show. JYP talked about how he doesn't officially have a dating ban in his company, but he strongly suggests that they don't, because when he was doing his stuff, they would ask him, are you dating? And he said, yeah, I'm dating someone. And then he would lose fans.
Right.
And so he said, from my experience in this industry, it's better to lie and say that you're not in a relationship, or just not be in a relationship, because you will lose fans. And like, the man bases everything he does in his company off of experiences that he goes through as an idol himself. He's not some like bigwig rich man CEO who doesn't know what's going on. This man knows exactly how this industry runs. And so, yeah, people hate him for it, but at the same time, I mean, he's not wrong. Right? It sucks, but he's not wrong. He understands what's going on. And he does things I don't agree with, like kicking J.Y Park out of 2 p.m. I thought that was a gross misstep on his part, but in the long run, J.Y Park is now highly successful and runs his own, hip hop international label and the clothing label. He's a well-known CEO over there. And same with Rain. Rain is now this big wig guy. Like, Rain is iconic. And so it's just, love him or hate him, you have to agree that JYP, without him, K-pop wouldn't be where it is today.
Exactly. He definitely progressed it a few years. We'd probably still be years behind if it wasn't for his innovations and trying to push it forward. Yeah,
like he rubbed shoulders over in the US with some big, like freaking Will Smith. I know Will Smith's a joke now, and that's unfortunate, but things happen. But back in the day, like, that's a big deal. And you gotta make progress somewhere, Yeah. I'm surprised he even met those people, to be perfectly honest, So also JYP has done some acting. And actually I watched these shows. So in 2011 he was in Dream High, and then he was in Dream High 2 in 2012. So Dream High, it is a show that you need to watch with some commentary on, because it is absolutely fun to rip on this show while you watch it. Because it's a show, it was popular among teenagers. And it's about 6 students at this high school who dreamed of being K-pop idols. And it's essentially like, how to put it, what American shows equal to this? There's a lot of singing and dancing in it, and then they have like the high school drama in it and stuff. And it's just, it is a show.
It's kind of like Glee, maybe?
Kind of, but they're not, the whole school is essentially the Glee Club. Like, it's a performing arts school where everyone sings and everyone dances, and it's interesting. I think JYP is one of the teachers. But yeah, they're all trying to debut and stuff. It's the first show is definitely better than the second season, but it is. I think there's a couple idols in it that you'll recognize. I don't remember who exactly is in it, but oh my gosh.
I remember there was an interview with him when the Wonder Girls movie came out on Nickelodeon a little while ago, like years ago. That movie is awful, by the way, but I'm a Wonder Girls fan, so I love it because it's so bad. He mentioned a little bit about Dream High. I think he's one of the producers of the show, or one of the co-creators of the show.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why he's involved in it so much. I think he definitely had a hand in putting it out there.
Yeah, he helped create it. Also, a lot of his group's members were in it. One of the GOT7 was in season 2. There was like GOT7 Tiara member, and let's see, she was in starring King's. One of the 2 AM members was in it. Park Ji-yeon from Tiara was in it. JB from GOT7 was in it. Let's see, like a lot of his people were in it. It's which is helpful when you are in charge of the show. But yeah, it's also Taekyeon from 2 PM was in the season 1. Like Susie was in it. Like I think she was the main girl. IU was in it.
Wow.
Woo Young was also in it from 2 PM. Yeah, so like 2 PM, Susie, IU. IU's in a lot of TV shows actually. Like she's not bad as an actress. So anyway, I got distracted. So final thought. JYP, he's an artist I wish I liked more, but for some reason my brain just goes no.
Right.
No. And it's nothing on him. It's just people have different tastes, and he just for some reason doesn't fit my taste. And it's not due to visuals either, because I have plenty of groups that I love, and like old school 70s rockers and stuff that I absolutely adore, and I do not find them attractive at all. But it's just I don't know what it is, but I love his collabs with people. I think that's where he really shines the most. And I don't know. I think he should continue on being a meme. I think that really helps with him. I do appreciate his being able to laugh at himself and like trap himself in the bathroom in his music, like fans' music video or his group's music videos and other things, getting like kicked out of the Twice slumber party. But I do highly recommend, like I do with everyone, but I especially recommend watching the dance practices or the performance videos that he does and his live performances, because he is fun to watch, and the dances are also extremely fun to watch, and there's just something about him that's very aesthetically pleasing. His fashion sense, don't expect anything from that. The man, I don't know if he does it himself.
He's gotten to the point where he's, like Michael Jackson or Prince, where he can just wear whatever he wants and there's no one above him to say no.
Exactly. And he comes out in some of the most weird outfits, but that's okay. Yeah. So he is very much a legend of K-pop. His company is a big 3 for a reason. They have very much secured themselves with like everything. Something I didn't mention. When he started up JYP Entertainment, he also started it with someone that a lot of people should know. He started it with Bang PD. So Bang PD, as everyone knows, he's not in charge anymore, but he was the CEO of Big Hit Entertainment, aka Hybe Entertainment, and he worked with JYP from the beginning. So we'll touch more on that later, but like, yeah. So JYP and Big Hit Entertainment, Bang PD are very close. They've been working with each other since the 90s. So yeah, that was a name that popped up. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Everyone knows everyone in this industry. So yeah, so he is an icon. Whether you love him or hate him, because I know plenty of people hate him. I get it. I get it. I was there with my J Park. I'm a jaywalker. I am. But so, but you can't deny the things that this man has achieved for the K-pop industry and for breaking into the West. Give credit where credit's due, guys. I whether you like him or not, you got to do that. Be an adult, suck it up. Any final thoughts on JYP?
Yeah, a couple of thoughts. Number one, thanks for showing the clear plastic pants again. I kind of forgotten all about that. So,
yeah.
It's always funny when because again, he doesn't take himself too seriously, but it's always funny to see other K-pop idols like kind of poke fun of him. Poke fun at him, and the plastic pants was definitely one of them.
Yeah.
His big song when he came out was "Don't Leave," I believe.
Yeah.
And whenever, even today, even when that's the beginning of those notes start playing, because that's like his big hit, people go nuts. And I never understood that until doing this kind of deep dive. And I'm like, man, people really love that song. That's like his anthem, so to speak. He is, I agree with you regarding being an artist. It's kind of a take it or leave it. And I wouldn't be too sure about him being an artist if it wasn't for that video that he did with Rain a couple of years ago. It's so good. It is so good. So it's like, you're not that great of an artist, but you put out an amazing video. So I'll give him credit for that. Yeah. But he will always be at the top of being just an amazing producer. He really understands the kind of the ins and outs of what a hit song is going to be. Even with, all of the Wonder Girl stuff is amazing, and the GOT7 stuff, but even the IOI song, or the 101, that song, that main song, their main debut song that he produced, is still catchy as hell. And so he understands hit songs, and I think he's really amazing at producing them. The stuff he's done for Twice has been amazing too. So I think he's found a perfect blend right now. Produce hit songs occasionally, make a hit single for himself, or at least a single for himself. It doesn't have to be a hit, but at least show that he's still relevant as an artist. And just kind of make fun of himself. I'm really interested to see how his new project is doing. It's again, it's on YouTube. It's called the letter A, the number 2, the letter K, A2K, and he's basically trying to get American artists and put them through the K-pop system to create a new type of K-pop group. Again, he's pushing things towards the future, and I'm interested to see how this plays out. So I would definitely be following the progression of his new group to see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. But also, Don't Leave Me, his live performance is on YouTube if anyone's curious about young JYP back in the day. But it is there. Also, his 3-man group album is up if you want to find that. It's not that hard to find. But yeah, JYP, the man, the myth, the legend. The voice in all of your JYP videos.
I'm sorry, if you're listening to a song and you hear JYP, you're like, okay, now we know I'm in good hands. Let's go.
Yeah, it's a bop. It's got me what? Yeah. So thank you guys once again. I've been Freyja. You can catch me on the Definitive Crusade, where we talk about all things DC Comics related. And what do you got going on?
Yeah, you can catch me every week on Soul Wizard Podcast, where we review newer movies. And coming up, we will be discussing our 9-year anniversary. We've put out a new episode every week for the past 9 years.
Oh, that's dedication.
Oh, God, yeah, we're crazy on that. But yeah, we'll be talking about our 9-year anniversary coming up. So check us out, soulwizardpodcast.com or Soul Wizard Podcast on all social medias and wherever you can find podcasts.
All right. Well, thank you guys once again, and have a good week. Bye.
Bye.